Welcome to Making Circuit Boards with Chris Dayhut. For today's video, we're going to look at the engraving process, the final step in a single-sided printed circuit board. Doing the letter engraving on the top surface of the circuit board isn't unlike what we've already done with the isolation milling process. In fact, the cutting operation is exactly the same. However, we need to get the circuit board back onto the work holding, the fixture in our case called a spoil board, perfectly aligned as it was from the first operation. Once we get past that, we just let the machine run. It'll do a fantastic job of putting some white letters on our black circuit board. Picking up from where we left off in the last video, we've got the back surface tinned, and we've got the top surface painted a satin black color. Just as a pointer, glossy colors can actually be pretty bad on circuit boards because sometimes if you've got high-powered lighting in your shop, they can create a lot of glare when you're working, mounting components, or even soldering. Now, one of the most critical steps on getting our engraving to look correct, and also if we go on to a double-sided circuit board like we will in an upcoming video, we need to get this exactly aligned with how it was in the first operation, but mirror imaged. That is why I go through and I always, even if I don't need mounting holes, I will put 2 1/8 inch, approximately 3 millimeter diameter holes on a circuit board. And once I've got those there, I will establish my 0 point exactly in the center of these 2 holes going left to right or along the x-axis. That way, when I machine it, as we did here, we machined it in this orientation, laying on the spoil board. When I go to do the second operation, I want to flip it along x-axis and get it back in the exact same position relative to those 2 holes. The process is dead simple, but it is important to do this or your graphics will never line up with the first side. More importantly, when you do double-sided circuit boards, you need them to absolutely be near perfect alignment. Our favorite work holding, I'm still using the double-sided tape as we did in the first operation, but I'm also going to be putting a couple of dowel pins through our holes so that I can get perfect alignment where I drilled the through holes from the first operation. I drill those extra deep so that I can get good registration when I do that. A couple pieces of our magic double-sided tape. Now, as mentioned, when we machined the first operation, we were in this orientation, and I can tell by the holes, I need to flip it over this way. So I got to get it, put these dowel pins, put right back in those holes, push them down, and then push the circuit board down against the spoil board. I'll apply pressure, and I'll let that sit for a few minutes before I pull out the dowel pins, and then we can move forward. Now we'll go ahead and load in our program. This will be PCB single side operation 2. I'll call it up in the editor just to take a quick look at it. Looks correct to me. We'll close that out. We'll graph it. That's what it should look like. This should be, we'll see that hole when we did the first op was on this end, and Now it's on the left end. So it's in the correct orientation and our legends are not mirror imaged. So everything looks like a go. Now in this process for my particular machine, I don't have to go through and set my part work offsets. We had to go through this process on the first operation, but nothing has changed relative to my workpiece from the first operation to the second operation. So all of my work offsets are already set and I can avoid or skip over that step. I like the looks of that. We'll pop it off and take a good look. Well, to my eye, that looks like a pretty good circuit board. Well, at this point, I think you got a pretty good idea how to make a circuit board on your CNC router. I would like to back up a moment and just talk about time, how long this would take. Now, I'm going to take the design process out of this because that's a huge variable depending on complexity, skill level, etc. But the first machining operation took 12.5 minutes from cycle start to finished part. Then I spent probably about a half hour doing the tinning and cleaning and sanding and then painting the top surface. And then the cycle time to run the engraving was 3.5 minutes. So in reality, you can get a circuit board in about an hour after you do the design work and get the program created. So this is a very efficient process. It's a very accurate process and a very reliable process. So hopefully you picked up some pointers along the way. Now in the next video, we're going to talk about doing a double-sided PCB, and that way you can understand how critical it is to have perfect registration from one side to the other. And by registration, I mean getting them to align up perfectly. So with that, I'm going to wrap up this video. Thanks again for watching. If you could be so kind, please leave me a thumbs up, a comment, subscribe, whatever you can do. It greatly helps the channel to grow, and I can bring more content like this.